Salahuddin, let me begin by asking you, your organisation famously last year declared a ceasefire and then held talks, one meeting with Indian officials. Do you think it is now close to the time for you to have another ceasefire?
Definitely not. Because last time we came to know that India has never been and is not sincere in its commitment. India has been playing obduracy and delaying tactics and is not ready to accept that Kashmir is a disputed territory and is to be resolved according to the wishes of the J&K people. Otherwise, we gave a historical chance on 24th of July at the cost of our organizational credibility. But India did not give such a positive response. So we got compelled to call it back on 8th of August.
Are you saying that you lost credibility because of the ceasefire last year?
No, we did not lost. But you must know that we put at stake our 12 years credibility. Everyone became our enemy. And that was an adventurous risk we have taken to provide a chance for a peace. But when we did not get any positive response, and India did refuse to accept Kashmir as a disputed territory and to talk on it outside Indian constitutional bindings, and to have a way of trilateral or tripartite negotiation for the ultimate and peaceful resolution of the problem. So we got compelled to call it back.
But do you think that one day there will be a political solution to the Kashmir problem? Through politics, through talking, not through fighting?
There can be political solution. If India is ready for that, it's very easy. There are UN resolutions providing we for the same. But India has not been sincere and is not sincere. It is definitely, which is the conclusion the Kashmiris and we people have reached, that Kashmiris are by the nature peace-loving people. They have been fighting for this holy cause of freedom right from 1947 till 1989 on diplomatic and political fronts, and a historical unarmed struggle. But when we came know, the leadership of Kashmir and the people came know that it is very impossible to persuade India for sitting on the table and resolving this problem according to the wishes of the Kashmiris, so ultimately we have recourse to the gun. And we are convinced that gun is the only solution of this problem due to traditional intransigence and delaying tactics that India has been for the last 53 years.
You say the gun is the only solution?
In case India is not ready to come on the table, and India is ready to honor the United Nations resolution of 1948 and 49, still standing out on the agenda of United Security Council. What is the alternative with Kashmir is then? Otherwise, the Kashmir did not know what is gun. It is Indian suppression, oppression, and this intransigence which have compelled Kashmir to have recourse to gun. Otherwise, we did not know what is the gun.
But if other Kashmiri leaders disagree with you, if the Hurriyat Conference starts talking to the Indian government, would you support any agreement that they eventually reach?
We will support only the agreement which will be conducive to the ultimate resolution of the said problem according to the wishes of J&K people. Any resolution, any settlement, any agreement, any process which gives the Kashmiris right of self-determination, we will support that. If there is any sort of divergence, we will take the people to task.
And if that self-determination leads to independence, is that okay with you?
We will accept with the depth of our heart. We, remember my brother, we fight and fight only for the right of self-determination, which is inalienable and right of a community, of the people, of a person. If the Kashmiris decide to access to Pakistan, we will accept. If they decide to remain as independent Kashmir, we will accept. It must be in the hands of the Kashmir to decide their political future.
Your organization is one of the oldest Kashmiri militant groups. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen newer groups, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Harkatul Mujahideen, Jaish-e-Mohammed, which have emerged on the scene, and some say now are more powerful than your group. Is that true?
Powerful than Hizbul Mujahideen? Definitely not powerful. They are still number 2 after Hizbul Mujahideen. The countrywide infrastructure, the well-disciplined cadre, the well-trained Mujahideen, the locally availability of ingredients to be used against Indian force in just like explosive, just like remote control devices, just like other with Hizbul Mujahideen. All these respects and target-oriented efficiency displayed by the Hizbul Mujahideen, guerrilla fighters, they distinguish Hizbul Mujahideen from other outfits as a number 1 organization. Or the said organizations, Pakistan-based like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish, Harkul Ansar, as a personal law, the most of the people affiliated with this, or they are the people who belong to Kashmiri families, who have migrated right from 1948 till now from Indian held Kashmir to this side. You must remember, my brother, there are living more than 5 million migrated Kashmiris here. On the 32,000 territorial square miles of Indian held Kashmir, which have been liberated in, say, Azad Kashmir northern areas.
So most of your fighters, most of Hizbul's fighters, are they Kashmiris or?
More than 90%. During 24th July ceasefire, it is what has been made clear by Mr. Brijesh Mishra and by Mr. Fernand in their statement. When they were put a question that why did we make the ceasefire with the one organization, Hizbul Mujahideen, Mr. did answer that this organization constitutes more than 75% out of the total militancy power, and its cadres belong to Kashmir is more than 90%.
So you are a Kashmiri organization?
We are really a Kashmiri organization, and ours is indigenous character, and we have to preserve it at any cost. But there are also the Mujahideen from Azad Kashmir who are working with us because they are son of the soil.
But the Mujahideen you talk about from Azad Kashmir, many of them are Pathans or Afghans or Punjabis?
Definitely not. Only those people who belong to migrated families who are here. There are more than 5 million and few thousand people who belong to soil of the Kashmir. Now it is government of Pakistan which has created a barrier in their way. Otherwise, they all want to go in and fight because their kiths and blood relation is being massacred en masse and is being gang raped and being mauls and destroyed. So they are losing their patience.
Over the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a change in the nature of the militancy inside Indian Kashmir. We've seen more suicide attacks, more attacks on Indian Army barracks and police stations and BSF stations. Is that something you think you welcome?
Yes, definitely, because It is a part of the guerrilla strategy. There have been two types of developments or two types of change. Number one, the suicidal squads, and number two, the use of remote control technology. And by the use of remote control technology, we have been able to inflict heavy casualties on the enemy forces.
On Indian forces?
Yes, definitely. And by the suicidal acts, there have been a tremendous psychological strain and stress on the enemy force. And I would recommend a book written by Major General Arjun Ray. The name of the book is Psychology of Militants in Kashmir. He has tabulated the figures that more than 72% Indian occupational forces are under heavy psychological strain and stress. And these are facing a tremendous psychological depression and moral background.
Your organization has suffered a lot. You've lost a lot of your men over the past 12 years. Do you hate India? Do you hate Indian people?
I did not follow the question.
Do you hate India? Do you have hate in your heart to India? I don't know what the word is.
Conceal?
No. How do you feel about India? What is your sentiment towards India?
India, about you mean the morale and resistance of India?
No, about just simply whether you, what is the feeling that you have towards India?
The people of Kashmir, the feeling of Kashmir.
No, the feeling that you have as an individual towards,
my own person. India is an aggressor and have imperialistic and expansionist designs. It wants to emerge as a great regional imperialistic power. India has deprived the Kashmiris of their every kind of right, religious, social, economic, and everything. And has failed, absolutely failed, to gain the sentiments and sympathy of the Kashmir region in the last 53 years. There is a tremendous and enormous hatred against Indians. Hatred. And there is no any chance of coexistence. No chance, no option to remain with India. And for Kashmiris who have lost virginity of thousands of women, there is no point of no return. They have taken pledge to fight up to last drop of their blood to get freedom from Indian yoke.
Can you remember what it was that turned you into a militant, that made you not simply a campaigner for Kashmir, but a fighter for Kashmir? Was there an event or an incident which made you a fighter?
It is not a particular event. It is a history of, I think, Indian suppression, oppression, maltreatment, which I myself during my academic career, my father, my grandfather, who have seen this, and they have been the part of the freedom struggle at that time under the leadership of Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah late, who launched the most powerful and popular struggle by the name of Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front. And my brother, my father, my grandfather, they were all the members of that movement. I have got hereditary the spirit of this freedom and the spirit of the sacrifice. And because I have come to know during this my college life that Kashmiris have been forcibly subjugated to this tyrannical slavery against their wishes.
You are the best in India. you are the best known and you are yourself the most feared of the militants. People in India see you as something of a devil, a man to be feared, a man to be hated. How do you feel about that?
Let them see, because I am their enemy. I am not the enemy of the Indian people. I am the enemy of the Indian despots, Indian brutals who have been killing, gang raping, molesting, and devastating the Kashmiris and their honor and their chastity and their property. I am the most sympathetic to Indian people. I have a deep concern with their poverty, with their economic problem. I know that more than 340 million people live below poverty line. It is because of this Kashmir issue that India is unfortunately spending 3/4 of its budget on this defense measures because of this Kashmir issue. If this issue is resolved according to the wishes of the Kashmiri people, or in the light of United Nations resolution, this will be in the best interests of the Indian subcontinent, including the people of India, Pakistan, and Kashmir.
You mentioned that...
But unfortunately, India does not seem to be inclined towards that. It is this intransigence on India's part which have compelled we people to have recourse to gun.
You mentioned that your fighters are well trained, your militants are well trained, and they know how to use remote control devices and things like that. Where do they get their training?
They are inside the Kashmir, Secretariat Mountains. By the grace of Almighty God, the entire Kashmir territory is, the topography is the most favorable for this guerrilla jihad. There are hundreds of campuses in rotation. It is very easy. Every can give to everybody. When he likes us, he can give him the training how to play a remote control, how to play a time device, how to make a charge and explode it. It is a very easy thing. A common people can learn and can impart the training with other people.
Are you talking about camps on the Indian side or this side?
Inside Kashmir.
But which part of Kashmir?
Everywhere where there is dense forests and hilly mountainous areas.
But on the Indian side and
Indian
the Pakistan side?
On Indian side.
How many people do you have in your organization inside Indian Kashmir?
Thousands together.
You say that you doubt India's sincerity, but do you have any reason for any optimism that the Kashmir problem, the Kashmir issue, will be solved soon?
It will be resolved, definitely. We hope, and we are very optimistic and hopeful that India will get compelled to succumb before the spirit of sacrifice, before the thorough will and determination of the Kashmiri suppressed people. But of force, India will be no more in a position to hold Kashmir under this clause. We think so.
If you are convinced that the Indian government is sincere, would you be willing to meet Mr. Advani, the Home Minister, to talk about a settlement?
There must be this. What are the symptoms of sincerity? First of all, India must declare publicly that Kashmir is a disputed territory. It is to be resolved, either in accordance with the resolution or by tripartite talks according to wishes of the people. After that, India has to take some concrete measures and steps, just like to set up all kinds of actions and operations on the Kashmir territory. Number third, to release all who are detained in under torture cells. Number four, to withdraw all the forces, additional force, pumped in right from 1989 till now. So we will come to know and get convinced that India is now a little sincere towards the cause. Other this ceasefire, far ceasefire, it is nothing rust their tragedy and deception.
But that's a long list of conditions before you're even willing now to talk to the Indian government.
Oh, see, my brother, these are not conditions to be put at a time and simultaneously. It can be one after other. But India has to start. India has to accept the historical ground reality that Kashmir is a disputed territory. It is first condition. India has to declare it in its parliament.
See, simply by talking to but simply by agreeing to meet Hizbul Mujahideen, India is, in a sense, acknowledging that Kashmir's status is disputed.
No. It has definitely not this meaning. We have come to know, and the 53 years lost track of India is the track of deception, mockery, and what we have experienced, the track of intransigence, track of dilly-dallying tactics, track of prating.
We
have lost confidence in India. We have no faith, definitely. India has never kept any of its commitment to Kashmiris or to world community.
How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a politician or as a fighter?
I am both things. I am a politician and I am also a guerrilla fighter, freedom fighter. I have a proud to be a freedom fighter rather than to be a politician.
Do you enjoy fighting?
Yes, definitely. I have myself part in so many actions.
And do you enjoy the military aspect?
Definitely.
Why?
Because there was no other alternative with us rather than this.
Are you proud?
We have, my brother, see. Very unfortunately, the world, especially the big demagogues, United Nations Organization, United States, America, and Great Britain have given open license to India's 750,000 brutal troops to kill and crush the innocent Kashmiris.
Are you proud?
This world has not so far sent a single team of Amnesty International or Ishawaj to go there and take stock of the human rights violation. Not a single Red Cross team has so far come to see what is going on, the bleeding people, with what is happening with them. And in this world of consciencelessness, in this world of double and trouble standard, in this world of indifferent attitude, what is the alternative with Kashmir rather than this military aspect?
Are you proud of what Hizbul Mujahideen has achieved?
I am proud. Why not? I should be, must be proud. Because I serve the cause of my suppressed people who have been deprived of their basic right and subjugated to forcible slavery right from last 53 years. I am definitely proud of. Thank you. Thank you very much.